Greetings, YouTube. This is episode 28 of TEW 2016 WWE Red vs. Blue. And this is episode 28, Smackdown Live, week 1 of October 2016. And the show is being held in front of 11,835 people at the Times Union Center. And we start off the show with a opening hype package with today's show, and the main event is going to feature an all-star 6-person tag team match with Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and Ryback taking on Roman Reigns, the WWE Champion Dean Ambrose, and the unlikely partner of Kevin Owens. Last week on SmackDown Live, the main event was Dean Ambrose taking on Kevin Owens, and the Forgotten got involved and attacked both men and Roman Reigns. So this is why that 6-man tag match is put together, and Kevin Owens is still a heel, so they're going to have that odd face heel dynamic with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. Also on the show, we will see a number 1 contenders triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship between AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, and Sami Zayn. So the opening segment got a 70C+ rating. We move on to our first match. And in a decent match, the Usos defeated Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews in 8:04 when Jimmy Uso defeated Titus O'Neil by pinfall with a Superfly Smash. Apollo Crews had an in-ring performance of 48, Titus O'Neil 45, Jay 65, and Jimmy 65. The segment got a 63C rating, and Apollo Crews is improving in performance skills. After the match, the Usos are celebrating their victory and taunting the crowd when Enzo and Cass make their return from after being assaulted and turned on by the Usos at Backlash a couple weeks ago, and they come in and they jump the Usos and they beat them down and send them retreating, and then Enzo and Cass celebrate to the crowd. The segment got a 61C rating. In our next match, in a decent match, Paige defeated Tiffany Terrell in 7:18 by pinfall with a Rampage. Tiffany had an in-ring performance of 45, Paige 53, no worker improvements. The match got a 53C- rating. Next segment is a backstage segment. Edge is backstage when he is approached by both Sasha Banks and Ashley Rain. And Sasha and Ashley are actually both inquiring to Edge about when he's going to introduce a women's championship for SmackDown Live. And Edge, he kind of is evasive about it, and he's like, well, ladies, I am taking that into consideration, but as of right now, there's no definitive answer for you, but rest assured, when that time comes, you guys will be among the first to know. So, this is just, because in real life around this time, the SmackDown Women's Championship was already introduced, but I'm not quite ready to introduce the SmackDown Live Women's Championship into the game, but it's coming soon. Just keep that in mind. No worker improvements. The segment got a 69C+ rating. And we go on to our next segment. The New Day come out, and they're basically hyping themselves up about how they're on their way to becoming the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions of all time. And this brings out the Club, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. And they're saying how, the only reason why they have held the WWE Tag Team Championships for so long is because they have been ducking the Club ever since they have come to the WWE, and it's about time that they stop ducking the Club and they start, being the champions that they claim to be and put those titles on the line against the Good Brothers. And the New Day, they're like, well, we don't think you've actually earned a tag title opportunity. However, you can get a chance to prove yourself tonight if one of you steps up to take on one of us in a one-on-one match. And the club, they look at each other and they look at New Day and they're like, well, if that's what it'll take to get a title match against you three nerds, then we will accept the challenge. So we're about to get a one-on-one match with the club and the New Day. It just depends on who will be the representatives from both sides. But the segment got a 70C plus rating. And we go on to the match. In a decent match, Luke Gallows defeated Big E in 12:04 by pinfall with a Gallows pull after Carl Anderson interfered. Luke Gallows had an in-ring performance of 47, Big E 67. No worker improvements. The match got a 64C rating. So Gallows defeated Big E, which gives them a right to say they do deserve a title opportunity against the New Day at a later date. And we go on to our next match. In a decent match, Kane and Mark Henry defeated Luke Harper and Baron Corbin in 13:24. When Kane defeated Luke Harper by pinfall with a chokeslam. During the match, we had Chris Jericho accidentally hit Harper, which basically what happens is Chris Jericho is going to come in and, attack Kane and help out Harper and Corbin. But Kane got out of the way and he hits Harper instead, which allows Kane and Henry to get the victory. Corbin had an in-ring performance of 53, Harper 60, Mark Henry 53, and Kane 53. No worker improvements. The match got a 59C rating. And then after the match, Chris Jericho and Luke Harper are in the ring. They're, squaring off face to face. Jericho and Harper are yelling at each other, and Bray Wyatt comes in and he's like trying to get Harper to back off, and then Jericho turns Bray around and they go face to face, and then Bray just kind of laughs at Jericho, and then they leave. So basically something is brewing between Jericho, Harper, and Wyatt. So that segment got a 76B minus rating. A pretty good rating there. And the next match, in a decent match, Alberto Del Rio defeated Goldust in 10:26 by submission with a cross arm breaker. Goldust had an in-ring performance of 49, Alberto Del Rio 70. No worker improvements. The match got a 64C rating. So basically this was just a match to get Alberto Del Rio a victory and a little bit of momentum, because he's been kind of stagnant in this game so far. I don't really have anything for him at the moment, but I mean, he's at a position where he needs, some victories, some momentum in case I do come up with something for him in the future. And then the next segment, there's a backstage interview with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, and they're talking about the main event tonight. And Ambrose is, pretty frustrated that he has to team up with another person that he doesn't trust in Kevin Owens. And Roman Reigns, agrees with Dean on this because Kevin isn't exactly known for, being trustworthy. He stabbed his friends in the back, so, and he was never friends with them, so what would he do to someone that he wasn't friends with if he can stab his own best friend in the back? But yet Edge put him in a team with Roman and Dean tonight in the main event. So that segment got a 78B rating. And we move on to our next match, and a bout that had a great wrestling and good heat. Sami Zayn defeated Dolph Ziggler and AJ Styles in 17:55. When Sami Zayn defeated Dolph Ziggler by pinfall with a haluva kick. Ziggler had an in-ring performance of 67, AJ 71, and Sami Zayn 74. And Ziggler's improving in performance skills. The match got a 76B- rating, so Sami Zayn is now the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. After the match, Sami Zayn is celebrating the victory when The Miz comes out from behind and gives Sami Zayn a skull-crushing finale. If you remember, they faced off at Backlash with The Miz getting himself intentionally counted out. So this is basically a continuation of the feud because The Miz did duck him last time, but Sami Zayn did earn another opportunity. And the segment got a 79B rating. And on to our main event. In a good match, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and Ryback defeated Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Kevin Owens in 1848 when Cody Rhodes defeated Dean Ambrose by pinfall with a crossroads. During the match, we also saw Kevin Owens turn on both Ambrose and Roman Reigns. So basically what they expected to happen happened. Kevin Owens did basically ditch Roman and Dean. Like, he didn't attack them or anything. He just, walked off on them and made them face the Forgotten on a 3-on-2 handicap. Basically a reverse of what happened at SummerSlam with Seth Rollins, because in that match Seth Rollins didn't show up at the beginning, only to find out that he was attacked before the match by Triple H, but he came out at the end. But this time Kevin Owens was there at the start, but he walked out on them at the end. So Ryback had an in-ring performance of 68, Drew McIntyre 58, Cody Rhodes 61, Kevin Owens 74, Roman Reigns 79, and Dean Ambrose 79. Kevin Owens is improving in performance, Ambrose in performance, and Roman in performance as well. So that team, they all had performance improvements, but none on the other side, which in reality, I would hope it was Rhodes, McIntyre, and Ryback getting in the improvements, because they're, not too bad, but they definitely, especially Drew McIntyre, because he had the lowest in-ring performance, so I was hoping he would get a little improvement there, but be that as it may, the match got a 65C rating, not great, but I think the fact that Cody and Drew, I think, aren't pushed as high as the others. I think Cody's only auto pushing as a mid or upper mid carder. Likewise with Drew, I think Ryback's a main eventer. I think Kevin Owens is a main eventer as well. Could be an upper mid carder right now, but I forget exactly. Plus the odd face and heel combination for Roman Reigns, Ambrose, and Owens. That probably dinged it a little bit as well. But we end the show with the Forgotten celebrating yet another victory over Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. And Cody Rhodes has momentum going into their upcoming WWE title match. Him against Dean Ambrose. That segment got a 76B- rating. And our overall show is got a 69C+ rating. Not great, but once again, all these talents that I'm trying to build up, like Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, them, in the main event scene. The roster's kind of small at the moment. Like I said before, it'll be growing pains, but I'm going to stay the course. So that will do it for me. Until next time, take care.